Are you wondering what is happening in the Seattle and the Eastside real estate market in 2025? What should you expect? What is the real estate market going to be like this year? Well, I'm about to get out my crystal ball and share with you some predictions on what just might occur. Now, let me tell you, more millennials are moving here than ever before. Tech is continuing to fuel the demand. So let's break it down. Let's get into what to expect in the Seattle and the Eastside real estate market in 2025. Hi, I'm Matthew Chapman, and I'm a Seattle native and a top-tiered realtor here in this region. And if you are interested in buying an investment property or just your own personal home, or you're wanting to sell your property, you have come to the right place. Just make sure that you get notified by subscribing to my channel right now. Just hit the button and you will get notified of all future content. So let's dive into this topic of what to expect in the real estate market for 2025. So to understand what is going to happen in 2025, we need to actually look back a little bit to 2024, because that really is going to set the stage for what to expect in this coming year. So let's take a look at 2024 right now. Now, in this region, the market is divided into two main areas. You have the Seattle market, and across Lake Washington, you have the East Side market, and those happen to be the suburbs. So Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, Issaquah, Sammamish, you name it, we have a lot of suburbs out there. Now, the East Side market, if you look at those statistics last year in 2024, the East Side crushed it last year with a 10% jump in home prices, bringing the average sale to $1.54 million. So the question we need to look at is what really drove the success of the East Side market last year. And that happens to be the surge of tech workers coming in, millennials wanting to move into this region and have bigger yards, maybe a little bit of a bigger house. That's what you're going to get in the suburbs and the East Side, just a little bit more privacy. And that's what people are after. Also, the top tiered schools on the East Side market is what really generated a lot of the success that we saw in the East Side last year. One of my favorite stories from 2024 was helping a young tech worker find an off-market home in the city of Redmond, Washington. And this was his dream home that he landed, and he's so glad to have it. And I gotta tell you, these off-market opportunities are rare, and they require a lot of connections with the real estate community. I have quite a bit of connections because I've been here for over 40 years. My family's been in real estate for over 40 years. So if this is something that you're interested in, finding an off-market home, and you want to find that gem, just message me and I would love to see if I can help you find that off-market gem. So now let's look at the Seattle market last year. The Seattle market actually fared pretty well, not as great as the East Side. Their average price point in Seattle was about $968,000. And they went up in equity appreciation by about 3% last year. So again, not as flashy as the East Side, but it's still a great market for buyers and long-term investors. Seattle really has some hidden gems that you guys need to know about. There is some great neighborhoods in Seattle. Take, for example, Blue Ridge, which is in North Seattle. It has this private community feel. It's got tennis courts, pickleball courts, a swimming pool. And I helped this beautiful family move to Blue Ridge last year, and they could not be more excited. They found their dream home, and they keep messaging me, Matthew, you have to check out what we did now to the house and all the things that they're enjoying about this house. So if you're interested in finding some hidden gems in Seattle, and you're maybe a little bit unfamiliar with the neighborhood landscape here, again, just message me and I would love to share some of my favorite neighborhoods with you in the Seattle market. So if you're asking me which market should you consider, the Seattle market versus the East Side market, yes, the East Side market saw greater appreciation last year, and they tend to have better schools. But if you're looking for the character, the walkability, and some of those hidden gems in Seattle, that could be a great option for you as well. It really just depends on what your goals are. So I'd want to sit down with you and go over what your values are in life to help determine the best spot for you. So now we get to 2025. This year is shaping up to be a very pivotal year in the real estate market. We're gonna dig into the trends and what to expect in 2025 right now. When we talk about expectations for 2025, people are wondering, what will interest rates do? What should we expect interest rates to do this coming year? Well, Matthew Gardner, a chief economist here in this region, says that interest rates should dip slightly, but don't expect them to go down to those 3 to 4%, which they were a few years ago. Most likely, they're gonna hover around 6 to 6.5% this coming year. And they have been very difficult to predict. So I'm gonna hold off on my predictions and I'm gonna point you to the experts of what they're saying, 6 to 6.5% this coming year. So regarding interest rates, here's the catch. If rates dip, buyer competition will surge and home prices could climb even faster. So what does this mean for you? Well, the Seattle Times recently noted that in the hot markets like ours, affordability is determined more by home prices than interest rates. So if you're waiting for a massive price drop, you could actually end up paying more for your house if you're waiting for that price drop. So let me share a real world example with you. Last year, I helped a family move to Issaquah. They knew the rates were a bit high, much higher than they wanted. They were more comfortable with the 3 and 4%, but they saw this home on the market in Issaquah. And actually, we were able to get this home for below asking price. And since then, this home has appreciated in value. And they're hoping that one day they might actually be able to refinance into a lower rate. So they got this home for below market value. And now maybe this coming year, they're going to be able to refinance for a lower rate. So that's their strategy. And I suggest that you come up with a strategy in regards to interest rates for yourself so that you can find success in this market. The next thing that you can expect in this coming year in the Seattle and the Eastside region for the real estate market is that scarcity will rule the game. Inventory is still really low and we expect it to continue to be low this coming year. Here's a number that might surprise you. According to the Seattle Times, over 75% of homeowners have an interest rate of 3 to 4%. And so that's created what Matthew Gardner calls this golden handcuff situation where sellers don't want to sell their homes because they have such a great interest rate and they'd have to be buying into something that was much higher. So people are not selling, builders don't have places to build. And so that's created this situation where there's this very low inventory in this region. And we don't expect that to change much this coming year. There might be slightly more inventory than last year, but it's not going to be substantial, in my opinion. So another reason for that is that on the east side, builders are struggling to keep up with demand in Seattle. And where land is limited, most new construction homes come from teardowns and redevelopment projects. And according to the National Association of Realtors, this trend will likely keep supply low and competition high through 2025. So this scarcity of inventory really does have a ripple effect. And for sellers, you really need to know how to get top dollar for your home because there's a lot of money that you can leave on the table if you don't really prepare your home right and think through all the options that you have. And for buyers, you really need an agent who's going to help you write a competitive offer so that you can stand out from the pack, so that they make sure that you do not miss out on that dream home opportunity. So if you're wondering about appreciation this coming year, here is what to expect. When I look at my crystal ball, I see appreciation forecast in the 8 to 10% on the east side market and probably in the 3 to 6% appreciation range for the Seattle market. And we still have a really healthy market here. We have a lot of demand for buyers wanting to move into homes, and we have very few homes available. So that is going to create an equity increase. And if you look at the historical trends for the last 80 years, we've seen home prices in this area on average go up 6.9% over the last 80 years, 6.9% a year. So real estate tends to be a really safe play in this region, especially if you're gonna hold on to your house for 5 years. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer. And if you're looking to purchase a property, that is going to be your safe bet. If you're willing to hold on to this for 5 years, I believe that you are going to do well because history is on your side. Another expectation that I have for 2025 is for a bit of urban revival and for the condo market in particular to actually increase quite a bit, mainly driven because the tech companies are requiring their employees to come back to the office 5 days a week. Amazon is leading the way in this, and that's going to create a lot of workers wanting to be in close proximity to their place of work, which happens to be near downtown Seattle. So I think the markets in the high-end condo markets in Seattle are going to do really well this coming year. According to the Seattle Times, condos in neighborhoods like South Lake Union and Belltown are actually still priced below pre-pandemic levels. So this makes them really attractive for first-time buyers and investors when they feel like they can be getting a deal from these homes. So while it might not be full-on pre-pandemic downtown urban revival levels that we're going to see this year, I do expect there to be an increase in urban revitalization. I expect to see more people moving back into the city. And if you're looking for a deal, this actually might be an opportunity for you. So feel free to message me as well if you want to know more about that. My last prediction for 2025 real estate market in this region is that millennials will start flocking in to this region in droves. And in fact, it's already been happening the last several years. Check this out. Here's a stat you need to know. Seattle has the highest net migration of millennials in 2022, knocking Austin off the top spot. And according to Seattle Agent Magazine, this surge is driven by tech jobs, the lifestyle appeal, and the relative affordability compared to cities like San Francisco. For example, I recently helped a family move from the Bay Area to Mercer Island, which is this beautiful kind of small town feel, really close proximity to Bellevue and Seattle. And they work for a tech company and they wanted top-notch schools. They wanted just beautiful landscape, a large yard, a beautiful home, and they got it in droves. And for them, this was actually a good deal compared to what they could get in the Bay Area for the same price. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing more families and millennials move to this region, especially from places like the Bay Area, because of the good deal that they're getting, the savings on taxes that they're having, and the more yard, the bigger house, and just the overall vibe that they enjoy here in this region. So what does all this mean? Well, my key takeaway for this year in 2025 is that you need to be ready. You need to have a good strategy, a good game plan in place. Otherwise, it's gonna be hard to find success in this market. And so that's where I come in. If you need help navigating this market, I would be glad just to share some resources with you, to jump on a Zoom call or to meet in person and grab a cup of coffee and go over this game plan. I get people that find me online through YouTube or other sites, so don't hesitate to reach out. It's not a big deal. People call me all the time and just want some simple advice. And so I'm here to help. I love my job and I'd be honored to help you. So what does all this mean for you? Let me share some advice based upon what I'm hearing from the experts out there. So if you're a buyer, my advice is this: don't try to time the market perfectly. You can't find the perfect combination of home price and interest rates. It rarely works out. If you can time the market, well done, because that is nearly impossible. And I'm in this field and have been in this field for many, many years, and I can't even predict the top of the market or the bottom of the interest rates. So instead, focus in on finding that home that feels right, that's a good fit for you, and worry about the interest rate later. Maybe you could actually even refinance that home into a lower interest rate. So as long as you can afford the monthly payment right now and you find that home, my advice is go for it, because it's only going to appreciate in value, especially if you're going to hold it for 5 years. And most likely you're going to be able to refinance into a lower rate soon. Now, if you're a seller out there, this is a great year to sell your home, but you could be leaving significant money on the table if you do not do this right. And you need to prepare your home well. You need to have a good game plan, a good pricing strategy. And last year, I helped this couple move from Bridal Trails, which is in the Kirkland Bellevue area, all the way to Denver. They handed me the keys and said, Matthew, just take it and make this house look beautiful. We got the contractors in there. We got vendors in there. We made this home look beautiful. We got multiple offers and went wildly above asking. And so that's really the kind of strategy that needs to take place when you come get ready to sell your home. You need less stress in your life, and you need to be able to trust the person at the helm. So message me again if you need more questions or you want more insight about selling your home. Final piece of advice is for investors. If you're looking to invest in a home in this region, you can't go wrong. It's a great place to invest. Now, where I think there is a great opportunity is in the Seattle high-end condos, because those are still priced below pre-pandemic levels, and that will not last long. So that is a great opportunity for you to consider if you are looking to invest in a property. I'm an investor myself. I invest in homes for Airbnb, short-term and long-term rentals, and I actually work on building my own homes as well. So if you need advice and you're an investor, again, I'm here to help. I love talking about this stuff. Don't hesitate to reach out. So in closing, the Seattle and the Eastside real estate markets for 2025 is going to be some of the strongest in the country. This is great news. So if you're looking to buy or sell this year, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'd be glad to help you discern your next right thing. My goal in all of this is to help you fall in love with this region. I love helping people come from out of town, experience this place, and show them some of the hidden gems and the beautiful places on the east side. And so if you're looking to relocate to this region, again, don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I would love to assist you. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you get notified of any future content if you haven't done that yet. I'm Matthew Chapman, and I'll see you next time.